Here are the top matchups to watch in each Week 10 game in the NFL, starting in Dallas, where Atlanta cornerback A.J. Terrell will try and slow down CeeDee Lamb and/or Amari Cooper. The Cowboys' passing attack has been averaging 291.5 yards this season, fourth most in the NFL.
And Cooper juggles, and he's going to make the catch at the 40-yard line. Magical.
Cooper leads the Cowboys with 5 TD receptions.
Cooper, touchdown, Dallas.
Lamb is the team leader in targets, receptions, and yards.
Throws it down the field, it's caught at the 10, and this game is over! The Cowboys win it! CeeDee Lamb!
But the Falcons are top 10 in passing yards per game allowed and have allowed the fourth fewest receiving yards to wide receivers this season, and Terrell is a big reason why they've had so much success.
Now throws and it's broken up. Excellent defensive play made by A.J. Terrell.
Terrell has allowed 2.6 yards per target this season via PFF, fewest in the league.
Takes that shot, and it is broken up. It's Terrell again.
And in Dallas's 40-39 win over Atlanta in last year's Week 2 matchup, Prescott threw for 450 yards, but only 7 of the yards came against Terrell in coverage via Pro Football Focus, so he can make it rough on whoever it is he spends the most time in front of.
And his pass is broken up by Terrell.
To Indy we go. The Colts' Jonathan Taylor will see if he can find room to run against Myles Jack and a stout Jags run defense. Taylor ranks second in the NFL with 821 rush yards this season. He's third in the league with 8 rushing TDs, and he leads the league in scrimmage yards.
Taylor's gone. Jonathan Taylor. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy.
And in Taylor's only career start versus Jacksonville in Week 17, 2020, he had a career-high 253 rushing yards and 2 rushing TDs in a 28-14 win.
What a start for Taylor. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
But this Jacksonville defense is much harder to find holes against. They've only allowed 3.8 yards per carry this year.
It's Collins. Spun down as he crossed the 25-yard line by Myles Jack.
And Myles Jack has been central to that effort. He's second on the team in tackles and has 3 tackles for a loss.
And Homer trying to shake away and can't do it. He goes down at about the 14-yard line. Myles Jack.
When the Browns take on the Patriots, Mac Jones will have to do his best to dodge Myles Garrett and the Browns' pass rush. And to do it, he may continue to rely on the quick-fire approach he's taken all year.
Jones throwing outside. That is complete.
Jones is tied with Aaron Rodgers with the 5th fastest time to throw in the NFL this season per Next Gen Stats.
Jones going to throw for it. End zone. At the goal line. Touchdown.
That approach has helped him stay upright more often than not. New England has played 9 games, 17 sacks allowed.
This pass to the outside is complete to Kendrick Bourne.
But if Cleveland's rush can get in his face, it should make a difference. Jones has a 71.4 completion percentage when he's not pressured, his rating 95.5.
Over the top he goes, diving catch, Hunter Henry with the touchdown grab.
But when he's under pressure, completion percentage drops to 54.8, his rating drops to under 70.
Putting the pressure on right in the lap of Mac Jones that forced this errant throw.
And this week, he faces a defense that has put plenty of pressure on QBs. They have the 3rd highest sack rate, 5th best QB knockdown rate, 2nd highest pressure rate, and they're 1st in QB hits.
From behind, they get to him, and yes, it's Myles Garrett.
And a lot of that heat, of course, is brought on by Myles Garrett, who leads the NFL in sacks and tackles for a loss.
Pressure coming, Murray in trouble, down he goes! Myles Garrett!
If Washington wants to keep Tom Brady from lighting up the skies, they will need a special effort from Chase Young in their pass rush. Brady leads the NFL with 331.3 passing yards per game and 25 passing TDs this season.
Lets it fly, it's Evans, it's a touchdown!
TB12 has thrown 15 TDs in his past 4 games and has thrown for 4+ TDs in 5 games this year.
Brady scans over the middle, Godwin pinballs, touchdown Bucs!
Washington's pass defense has been pretty porous in 2021, allowing the most yards per game in the league, have given up the second highest rating, and second most passing touchdowns.
Bridgewater slinging it out, reaching, touchdown!
So they need something extra special from their front. It has averaged over 2 sacks per game, and Jonathan Allen leads the team with 6 sacks. Impressive, since those are from the interior.
Sack taken down to the ground by Jonathan Allen.
But Chase Young only has 1.5 sacks for the entire season. If the team wants to be the latest to pull a big upset, they need more than what they've been getting from Young in this game.
Chase Young, first man there.
Out in the desert, we should get a heavyweight cornerback wide receiver bout when Stephon Gilmore covers DeAndre Hopkins. The Cardinals averaging 30.8 points per game, second most, and Hopkins is responsible for 7 TDs himself.
Back of the end zone, wide open, DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins sat out last week, and he's not having as big a year as some of his previous seasons, in part because their passing attack is more diverse. But he's put together quite the highlight reel in the paint.
Throwing for the end zone, and he fits it in to DeAndre Hopkins for the touchdown.
But him and his mates are up against a Panthers defense that's hard to score and pass on. They've only allowed 20.3 points per game. Only one team is allowing fewer pass yards per game. They're holding QBs to a sub-90 rating and under 7 yards per attempt.
Intercepted in the middle of the field. That is Gilmore.
And they're only better after landing Gilmore, who has an interception in both of his first 2 games with the Panthers.
Pressure comes, hit as he throws, and it's intercepted. Stephon Gilmore.
And Gilmore's 91.4 PFF coverage grade in weeks 8 through 9 is second highest among all cornerbacks in that time span, behind only Denzel Ward.
Throws to the sideline. The catch is made by Pitts. He's short of the first down.
To LA, Derwin James has to find a way to slow down Dalvin Cook. Cook is third in the NFL with 92.3 rush yards per game.
First down and more. There goes Dalvin Cook, all the way down inside the 20. What a run by Dalvin Cook.
Cook is also tied for second in the NFL with 22 runs of 10-plus yards and has 16 games with 100-plus rush yards since 2019, second most in that time frame.
Bursting through the middle is Cook, like a jet.
Forgive him if he seems overly eager to get out there this week. No team allows more rush yards per game and, more importantly, rush yards per carry than LA does, where they've given up 5 a pop.
Nobody touches him. He gets through that arm tackle. Stiff arm there, stiff arm there.
The Chargers have also allowed 100-plus rush yards in 7 games. So if they want to put at least a Band-Aid on that gaping wound this week, James needs to sneak up to the line and try and help stop Cook.
What a move there by Derwin James, the Pro Bowler who can absolutely take over a game.
James leads the Chargers with 68 tackles, most among safeties in the NFL, and he has 3 tackles for a loss.
Chubb, nothing doing there. Hit by James again, loss of a yard.
In the Rocky Mountains, it's more of a 2-on-2 than a 1-on-1. Denver safeties Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson tag teaming against Philly's Jalen Hurts and Jordan Howard. After ignoring their run game for a while, the Eagles have now embraced their ground game and are now top 10 in all major rushing categories.
Jordan Howard slices in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
They also run the ball on 46.1% of their plays, 7th highest rate. Hurts leading the Eagles in rush yards, rush TDs, and yards per carry.
Hurts flushed out. Hurts on the move. He's got room. Hurts down the sideline and a first down.
Howard came on in the absence of Miles Sanders, but he's been very effective, 50-plus yards in both games and at least 1 touchdown in each game.
First and goal from the 4-yard line. It's Jordan Howard in for an Eagles touchdown.
This is a strength versus strength situation because Denver has held ball carriers to 4.2 a carry, have allowed fewer than 90 rush yards in 5 of 9 games this season.
Oh, the Broncos. Justin Simmons came up from the safety spot with a huge hit.
And those safeties have been very much a part of that success, Jackson and Simmons leading Denver in tackles.
Pollard tried to get to the edge, and he is swarmed. Jackson from the safety spot came up to make the play.
The Seahawks are in Green Bay this week, and while the return of each team's QB makes it a marquee matchup, the difference makers could end up being either Bobby Wagner or the Packers' two-headed rush monster. Green Bay has the 3rd highest team rushing yards grade per PFF and average a respectable 4.3 yards per carry.
He's got the ball here. He surges through the hole and explodes across the 40. Still going near midfield for Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones leads Green Bay with 516 rushing yards and 3 rushing TDs.
Jones driving, touchdown.
And A.J. Dillon leads the pack with a 4.7 yard per carry average as the sometimes lead, sometimes complimentary running back.
That is a big man running in the open field.
It's 247, but he can run, and that vision that you saw with that cut.
But when you run on Seattle, you typically end up getting up close and personal with Wagner. He leads the entire NFL with 93 tackles.
And Roethlisberger gives to Najee Harris, the first-round pick for the Steelers. Featured heavily last week. He gains a yard on the carry.
And the Seahawks are allowing a respectable 4.2 yards per carry and have the 6th highest team rush defensive grade per Pro Football Focus. And 3 of their past 4 opponents have failed to reach 100 rushing yards.
Najee Harris will run for 2 yards. Harris 17 rushes, held to 45 yards here tonight.
If the Lions want to get into the win column, their tackles better be able to keep T.J. Watt out of Jared Goff's face, which won't be an easy task. Watt just rang up 3 more sacks last week alone.
Now he's dragged down. Back at the 42. Who else? T.J. Watt for the Steelers.
T.J. now has 11.5 QB takedowns for the year, second most behind Myles Garrett, and he leads the NFL in sack rate.
Steelers rush 4. Fields wanted to run the whole time, and he was taken down. T.J. Watt, his 3rd sack of the night.
So it'll take a Herculean effort from the Lions' tackles to keep him at bay. The Lions have allowed 2.9 sacks per game this season, and rookie left tackle Penei Sewell has allowed 4 himself.
Goff will be taken down for the 3rd time today.
On the other side, right tackle Matt Nelson has allowed 3.
Going up against Matt Nelson, puts a nice move, then uses that leverage to really turn that corner tight, gets a sack on Jared Goff.
They have to play better, or Watt could have himself an early Thanksgiving feast.
Look out, Myles Garrett. Watt's coming after the league lead in sacks.
The Titans are at home against the Saints, and that tees up a nice one-on-one between A.J. Brown and Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints' pass defense has played well overall this year, and Lattimore has shined at times. He's allowing a career-low 52.1 completion percentage.
Marshawn Lattimore, their all-world leader on the back end of that defense.
But he's also struggled at times, too. He's also allowing the highest passer rating of his career.
Slinging it far side, this time McLaurin on the catch.
He will spend a fair share of his Sunday tracking Brown, who leads Tennessee with 40 catches for 551 yards and 3 scores. He's been targeted 9+ times in each of the last 4 games and is averaging 105.3 receiving yards per game since week 6, 3rd most in the league.
End zone, caught. A.J. Brown, touchdown, Tennessee.
And watch for the battle that takes place on passes of 10 to 19 air yards. Brown has been one of the most productive receivers on those throws.
Quick strike. A.J. Brown inside the 30.
But according to PFF, Lattimore ranks 1st in the NFL in forced incompletion rate on targets of 10 to 19 air yards.
Watch him undercut this route, coming across, so hard to keep up with him.
Bills Jets now. Quinnen Williams will try and do his best Josh Allen impersonation against Josh Allen. The QB Allen last week got shut down when the pass rushing Allen and his mates sacked him 4 times.
Allen hit from behind, and there it is, a sack for Josh Allen against Josh Allen.
And even adding just a little pressure can make a big difference. According to Next Gen Stats, Allen has completed just 47.4% of his passes when faced with pressure, as opposed to 71.4% without pressure.
Pressure's coming. Allen can't get away.
Williams, meantime, leads the Jets with 4.5 sacks this season, the 4th most among players aligned on the interior.
Williams a block, they got him, and down he goes! Quinnen Williams blew it up!
He also has the 8th highest pressure rate among all players lined up inside.
Under pressure, going down. 5th sack of the day for the Jet defense. Quinnen Williams leads the way.
Big bout in the AFC West with KC and LV going at it. Patrick Mahomes has already had a rough season, and now he will have to worry about a pass rush that will be coming at him from both sides. Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue at the forefront of a resurgent Vegas pass rush that is 3rd in the NFL with 67 QB hits.
Oh, from behind it, swatted away, Ngakoue knocked it away.
The Silver and Black are 5th in pressure rate and tied for 9th in sacks as well. And the best part about it, they do it without sending an extra man. They have the lowest blitz rate in the league per Next Gen Stats.
Bridgewater is decked. Max Crosby, one of the first to get there for Las Vegas.
Ngakoue has 6 sacks and leads the NFL in QB pressures and QB pressure rate.
First one is Unique Ngakoue. He's having a great game. Max Crosby said, I can't be outdone. I'm going to get there too.
Crosby has 5 sacks and is tied for 2nd in QB hits, and his pass rush win rate of 27% is the second best in the NFL.
And he'll be taken down. Max Crosby.
That could be bad news for a QB trying to get his bearings, and pressure has played a big role in him not being able to find them. With no pressure, completion percentage over 70. Passer rating over 100, twice as many TDs than INTs.
Mahomes tosses it up. Touchdown! Robinson!
But under pressure, completion percent drops to 38.4, rating dips to 59, TD to INT ratio 4-3.
Fine time, throws, tried to force it in. Off the bounce, Tennessee has got it.
Finally, in San Francisco, you've got Debo versus Craig. In this scenario, Craig being played by Jalen Ramsey, Debo by Mr. Samuel, who has carried the Niners' passing offense with George Kittle out. He has 4 100-yard games and has never finished a game with less than 50 yards.
They'll go with the screen to Samuel, though. He's got blockers and a first down and more.
Samuel is 2nd in the NFL with 882 receiving yards, and he's also 5th in yards per reception and 12th in catches. The Rams' pass defense he's up against, one of just 3 teams to have more INTs than passing TDs given up. They have 12 INTs and have allowed 10 passing touchdowns.
For the end zone, intercepted. Jalen Ramsey with the pick at the goal line.
And Ramsey has chipped in plenty. He secured his 3rd INT of the season last week versus the Titans.
Under pressure, he gets it away, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line by Jalen Ramsey.
And he's tied for 8th in the NFL with 8 passes defensed, has the 3rd highest PFF coverage grade among NFL cornerbacks this year.
Going deep for Hopkins and juggling, incomplete. Jalen Ramsey was working with him.